Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, let's see who was here first. Joyce Anderson, thank you so much for being here first. Hello to Cami Bluetooth, Carol Lunn, is it Civi? CB? Sonia Johnson, Vivian Green, Lakiva McGee, Ispy, Sonia Johnson. Oh, wow. Lots of members there. Thank you very much for those memberships. Very nice. Thank you for going that extra step to support Royal Sussex. Okay. Lydia Washington is here, one of the early members of Royal Sussex. And let's see, Beverly McCaskill, also a member. Thank you very much. Anyway, let's get on with it. I don't think we'll be here more than 2 hours. Okay, maybe an hour. Maybe an hour. Okay. All right, we're good. I think everything is good. Let's see. All right, so I'm not sure where I was going with that thumbnail. I'm not even sure I got there. I don't know where I was going. I don't know if I got there, but it is what it is, right? So enjoy. Hello, Leslie F. Jan Martin. All right. Mel Shadowwolf, thank you so much for being here. It is Black History Month. And, well, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure a lot of people echo this notion that every day in the United States of America is Black History Day. Never have the history of an ethnic minority group have been so intertwined with the history of a nation. A group of immigrants that was forcibly brought here by the transatlantic slave trade. And in spite of all of that, the combined wealth of this community that has suffered over the years from the systematic attacks. I mean, we've had our own Holocaust here in the United States, but systematically, the Black community here in the United States has been, well, shall we say, what is the word that I'm looking for? Maligned, embattled. What word am I looking for? Anyway, you get where I'm going. They have frequently targeted the Black community, hoping to divide and conquer us. And we're still here, and we are still a force to be reckoned with. And there really is no United States without us. I know there's some people who would like to try to see how that works out, but I'll just tell you, it doesn't. There's no that without us. There's no United States without us. And to my Native American brothers and sisters, much love. All of the First Nation people. Okay, Heather Stroud is here. Mama Janet is here. Marshar. And a host of friends and others. Thank you. In honor of Black History Month, don't forget to hold them ears, sis. You got that? I mean, this is something that you should know, especially if you're old school. Don't forget to hold them ears. If you value your ears, but yet you want that, nice hot iron hair, hold them ears down, because I'm telling you, that's a smell. That's a smell. Oh, and it stings. Boy, that stings, right? Anyway, um, just hold them ears down and you'll be okay. That's something that you have to learn early in life. Hold them ears down, sis. So happy Black History Month. The struggle is real. And yeah, I love this right here. I forgot where I got this illustration from, but I love that. It captures so many personalities. I feel like I see at least 3 or 4 people I know in those very abstract images, maybe. Anyway, here's a couple of bits of Black history. In 1971, journalist Melba Tolliver stood up against WABC TV when she was reprimanded for wearing her natural afro hair. She had refused to cover it up with a scarf or wig when reporting on the wedding of President Richard Nixon's daughter, Tricia Nixon. And over here on the right, the Black Prince, Peter Jackson, was legendary boxer of the 1800s from St. Croix, who then moved to Australia and finally the United States. Being one of the best boxing champions, he never got a chance to compete for the world title due to racism. Yeah, they would have those world titles, but they did not want Black men to compete. And finally, what's his name? The Great White Hope? Was it Jack Dempsey? Competed against who was it? Jack Johnson? And have I got that right? Anyway, because the Black boxer was victorious, it led to lynchings, race riots, and just about everything in between. It was one of those moments back in the early 1900s where the nation seemed to be suffering through a race war. And I think it was around that time that the movie The Birth of the Nation came out, right? And that was designed as an appeal to the white supremacists and such. So very turbulent times, especially around 1919 or thereabouts. There was so many conflicts. I'll share that with you right here. See there? Pick a massacre and research it. 1919 Chicago, 1908 Springfield, Illinois, East St. Louis, Tulsa in 1921, Vicksburg, Slocum, Colfax, Opelousas. Am I saying that right? That's in Louisiana. And is that Thibodaux? Rosewood, 1923, St. Bernard Parish, Clinton, Elaine, Memphis, Detroit, New York, Washington, D.C. Let's see, Philadelphia, 1985, Wilmington, 1898, Atlanta, 1906. You got Charleston, Afula, Camila, what's that? Okie, is it Ochi? But yeah, there have been quite a few of them. And I tell you, there were a lot of ones that did not make it as part of the public record. But yeah, very turbulent times. And I can tell you right now that one in Chicago, there was an imaginary line at the beach there at Lake Michigan. I don't know if you've ever seen Lake Michigan, but it is vast, it's huge, it's about 1,000 feet deep. It is, I believe, the second largest of the Great Lakes. And it is one of the largest bodies of fresh water anywhere in the world. And so there are dunes, beaches, sandy beaches and such. And sometimes the water can be remarkably clear. Well, there was a black kid that was swimming, and wherever that imaginary line was, he was pelted with rocks by some of the white kids. And this led to a huge race riot throughout the city of Chicago. Um, a lot of black people died, a lot of white people died. It was a mess. So, very turbulent history here in the United States um, during the early 1900s. Very turbulent. And there are so many individual stories that you may be aware of from growing up in the United States if you grew up here. Um, there's a lot of stories that have never been told. And even years later, even into the 1960s and 70s, some of the people that survived those um, racist attacks on the black community, they were elderly and had survived World War II, Vietnam, Korea, all that stuff, the Great Depression, and still they just would not talk about it because of the fear that they had for themselves and their families. And of course, wishing the African American community a happy Black History Month, Afro Annie. Of course, her lineage is still a bit of a mystery, but I don't know, something about those Newports and that Afro pick. So I think she may possibly, passively, and unknowingly uh, identify with the struggle in a roundabout, indirect, and probably not likely way. She knows what the struggle is. And of course, one of my favorite parts of Black history, I don't know exactly when it was the first time in history when Jennifer Lewis, the Black mother of Hollywood, first kicked her leg up to the sky when she demonstrated her flexibility. I don't know when that was, but if by chance 1,000 years from now they open up a time capsule, I do hope when they start pulling all of those images of, you know, the United States and they discover Black history, I do hope these images are available to be studied by anthropologists in the future. Um, it it is an anomaly, right? Yeah, it is something that scholars in the future will study, and they will have some kind of explanation. Right now, I'm pretty sure they don't know what to say. We don't know how it started. We don't know when it'll end. Maybe it ended on that infinity pool somewhere in Africa. We don't know. We don't know. And of course, um, the scholars in the future will actually study the first time Copycat decided to try to, you know, emulate the veteran actress Jennifer Lewis. Was this the first time Copycat struck? We'll let the we'll let the scholars in the future figure that out. But for now, um, very Copycat. And also, out of fear that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex would get too much attention during Black History Month, of course, there was a preemptive strike by those two who decided that they wanted in on the whole Black History Month movement. So leave it to them to, get out their kente cloth and beads and such and try to make their impact. Yeah, leave it to them. It wouldn't be them if they didn't try it, right? Always trying to identify with stuff that don't have anything to do with them. Yeah. Well, at least they're not dressed up in their colonial outfits, right? At least they're not in their colonial outfits. It could have been worse. Well, you guys, I came across this while I was prepping for today. To celebrate the vibrancy of Black culture and history, President Biden and Vice President Harris hosted a Black History Month reception this evening at the White House. Oh my God, it's going to be a long time when we see something like this again. It will be a long time. Representation matters. You guys probably remember when the young man here, you can see there, Vice President Harris and President of the United States, Joe Biden, arrived with Dwayne Portis Jr., a youth leader at Chicago Youth Service Corps, um, and a high school senior at Lindblom Math and Science Academy to speak at an event to celebrate Black History Month in the East Room. Sadly, it's going to be a long time before we see something like this at the White House. Um, During the Obama and the Biden administration, we celebrated Black history, Black excellence like never before. And the People's House, the White House, was a great backdrop for celebrating Black history and accomplishment and such. But don't despair. We'll get back there again one of these days. But for now, we have to, stay in prayer, stay positive, and try not to let all of these abrupt changes get you down. It is very stressful. I know it. I know it. I know it. And election night was a nightmare, and the next day was like um, we were in a dream or something like that. And we're still dreaming, I guess. But let's dream of better times. Don't let those people that's in there now get you down. So again, it is Black History Month. There's so many incredible things, contributions of Africans outside of Africa, all over the world, all over the world. And in so many societies, they have tried to whitewash the contributions of Africans away. But these are modern times. We have the internet. And even though they have tried to corrupt the internet, um, if that happens, then we'll have to go back to publishing books like we used to in the past. Those Black bookshops where you can learn about Black history. But I think it would probably be a good idea that if you have any books with Black history, keep them, pass them along. Make sure it's understood that we need that because they have been doing a lot to corrupt the internet. And I told you, I don't trust the AI. I'm not afraid of the AI, but when I Google search and I come across some of the AI, it's not exactly 100% accurate all the time. So, my model is to go and scroll down and try to find or cite three other sources, especially for those important things, because He who controls the, you know, software, controls the servers, controls the apps. They will be the ones that control the message. And as we know, there's not enough Black faces in Silicon Valley. Now, Harry and Meghan, God bless Harry and Meghan, they have an award that they give out at the NAACP. I don't know how they came to the conclusion that they will be the ones, well, be some of the people out there, some of the notable people that are going to uplift and support the men and women in content creation, in software development, and of course, now with the AI and such. There's not enough Black people behind the scenes. And Harry and Meghan have an award that they give out just for the purposes of making sure that there is support and representation of African Americans in those fields that has to do with this information age that we live in. And what an amazing contribution. That's why I say, if you're supporting the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, you are on the right side of history. Have no doubt, you are on the right side of history. Let me see. I know it was, let me see. Where is that at? I know it was on the Sussex website somewhere, although I don't see it right now. Sussex Foundation, Archwell Foundation, rather, updates. There it is, celebrating the NAACP Archwell Digital Civil Rights Award. That's the one, the Digital Civil Rights Award. Each year, the NAACP awards an individual with the NAACP Archwell Digital Civil Rights Award. This award celebrates leaders who are advancing civil rights in the digital spaces and leading the way to build a better online world. Archwell Foundation is thrilled to congratulate this year's recipient, Dr. Alondra Nelson, in recognition of her outstanding contribution to AI policy and the advancement of civil rights. Dr. Nelson accepted the award yesterday evening during the NAACP Hollywood Bureau Symposium. That's what I'm talking about. If you are supporting the Sussexes, you are on the right side of history. On the right side of history. And it feels good to be on the right side of history. So, yep, there you go. Sad news. Sad news. One of my favorite singers, Roberta Flack, with her sultry, soulful sound. Oh, poor. Well, not, I shouldn't say that. She's had an amazing life, but I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss Roberta Flack. I listened to her music ever since the 1970s. And gosh, she had a style, an amazing style as an artist. Well, she passed away today. So, one of the interesting things about Roberta Flack is that she lived in the Dakota, the same place where John Lennon lived. She lived in the Dakota in New York. Roberta Flack, she was born February 10th, 1937, and she died February the 24th, 1925. She was an American singer and pianist known for her emotive, genre-bending ballads that spanned R&B, jazz, folk, and pop, and contributed to the birth of Quiet Storm. Quiet Storm is that kind of smooth, jazzy music, right? Her commercial success included the Billboard 100 chart-topping single, "The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face," "Killing Me Softly" with his song, and "Feel Like Making Love." She became the first artist to win the Grammy Award for Record of the Year in consecutive years. Flack frequently collaborated with Donny Hathaway, with whom she recorded several hits, including "Where is the Love? Where is the Love?" And of course, oh my goodness, "The closer I get to you, the more you make me feel." Remember that song, "The Closer I Get to You"? And as one of the defining voices of the 1970s popular music, she remained active in the industry, later finding success with duets with "Tonight," "I Celebrate My Love" with the People Bryson. That was back in 1983. And "Set the Night to Music" with Maxi Priest in 1991. Across the decades long career, she interpreted works by songwriters such as Leonard Cohen and members of the Beatles. In 2020, Flack received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. So, um, cheers to Roberta Flack for an amazing life and amazing music. As a matter of fact, let's give her applause. Okay. Yes, rest in power. Rest in power. Let's see. Roberta Flack was 88 years old. She had an amazing career and life. Yes, she did. Absolutely. And I tell you, they don't just let anybody move into the Dakota. That is one of the premier addresses in Manhattan. I am so fascinated by that building, but you know how I am about architecture. Um, they say the reason why they call it the Dakota is because at the time when it was built, I think it was back in the 1880s or 90s, massive building for that period. When it was built, I think it was the 1890s. It was so far away from the, you know, residential areas of Manhattan, like a developing area. People compared it to like going to the Dakotas, like a wilderness. I mean, that of course is exaggerated, but you get what they're trying to say. So they say that's why they referred to that building as the Dakota. That was the actual name of it, the Dakota. Sweeter and sweeter, I'm told, and heaven's help to those who pull the tricks of time. And I don't know the words, but I'll make it up as I feel to make it real. Lying here next to you. Hey, time just seems to fly. I love that song. Pulling closer, sweet as the night. Been a long time since I heard it. But oh, yeah, Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack. I think that that was probably the love of her life. I'm just guessing. That was the love of her life. Donny Hathaway. I don't know how she was able to record with other people because they matched each other's vocals so well. They were just meant to sing with each other. Although I have to say, she and People Bryson were amazing too. Yeah, People Bryson, Roberta Flack. She was just, you know, am I wrong to say this? But why does she remind me of um, VS Speaks Royally? Why does her voice remind me of VS Speaks Royally? I mean, I could just listen to VS all day long because I've listening to VS, it seems like I'm listening to Roberta Flack sing. VS has such a beautiful voice. So I've always noticed that. I don't think I've ever said it before, but I've always noticed that for some reason she seems like she's channeling Roberta Flack. Pulling closer, sweet as the fantasy. Do 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 do. Hey, time just seems to fly, needing you more and more. Oh, I can barely talk, let alone sing today. I'm so sorry. But yeah, love, love, love that song. Ah, killing me softly. Oh, you mean when they kicked the black people out of what is now called Central Park? Yeah, they um they got rid of the Seneca Village and created the Central Park. Good old eminent domain. It'll get you every time, won't it? I love that picture of Roberta Flack. Love her smile. I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. And so I rushed to see him to listen for a while. And there was this young boy, a stranger to my eyes, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his words, killing me softly with his song. All right, Roberta Fleck, rest in power. Oh, just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. She comes from that generation of singers where everybody had their own sound. Can I get an amen? Roberta was Roberta. Aretha was Aretha. Patty was Patty. Shaka was Shaka. And I can go on and on and on. Everybody had their own sound. Okay? Betty Wright was Betty Wright. They all had, you knew who it was. You knew it. And she definitely had her own voice, her own style. Um and like they say, she helped to give birth to the quiet storm. She helped to give birth to the quiet storm. The quiet storm where the music just ripples through your being. It's like a storm, but it's comforting, right? It doesn't scare you. It does not alarm you, but it just fills your every cell of your body with rhythm and song. La 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 la. Oh, oh, ah. Oh, Perry Como. I never heard that before. Ugh, I don't want to think about that. Okay, so there you have it. Farewell, Godspeed to Roberta Flack. Roberta Cleopatra Flack. Cleopatra. I never knew that. Strolling in the park. Hey, watching winter turn to spring. Ooh, standing in the dark. Watching lovers do their thing. Hey, that's the time. I feel like making love to you. That's the time. I feel like making dreams come true. Oh, baby. Yes. Really? Really? Just cleaning up. Hey, just cleaning up. Hey, the cleanup woman is a woman who gets all her baby's love. Uh-huh. Let me tell you, I was making it easy for the cleanup woman. She's tough. You know, she really cleans up. That live version of Cleanup Woman. I love that whole album, though. I love that whole Cleanup Woman album. Um, Rachel Meghan Markle, aka Meghan Markle. Um, Northwestern, more than 24 Northwestern alumni lined up to show off their Purple Pride, and along with 100,000 visitors there and 1.9 billion people watching at home, witness Meghan Markle and Prince Harry tie the knot. That's right. There was 1.9 billion people that witnessed the Sussexes marry back in 2018. That is something we can all be very proud of. Now, let's see. What does it say here? Meghan Markle's Northwestern University top is more than just a Princess Diana tribute. There's a deeper personal meaning behind her shirt. In 2014, she made her first visit to the university since finishing her degree. The actress had been promoting Suits at the time and told North by Northwestern magazine, "It's surreal to be back because I haven't been back since I graduated. And as I am walking around, I remember things like schleps of getting a, what is it, South Campus from up north. The 24-hour Burger King also definitely helped me put on the freshman 15. More than 10 years later, Meghan is now based in California and gearing up for the release of her Netflix series, With Love, Meghan, out on March 4th. She is also on the cusp of launching her lifestyle brand as ever. Meghan shared a vision board. Well, anyway, y'all know all that stuff. Let me see here. Graduated in 2003 with a double major, theater and international studies. So check it out. This was the Sea of Purple. Well, it wasn't that big, but they were quite obvious. I mean, after all, purple has always been considered a royal color, right? Well, those are some of the Northwestern alumni that went all the way to Windsor, England, to support the Duchess of Sussex on her wedding day. Now, the gentleman on the left side, I think I said, "Hey, Chicago." Well, we became friends. There he is right there. And we hung out for a few hours in Windsor. I mean, it was like such a big high amongst all of those people in the crowd that you just didn't want to go home. Well, for me, home was about, I don't know, 3,000 miles away, something like that. So I just hung out. Well, there he is at the gate of the Windsor Castle. And right there, we're on a little street, like right outside of the gates of the castle. And right here, there's some more, see there, Northwestern Alumni Association. Yeah, they brought their purple that day. And anyway, I think that Northwestern gear is going to be a hot commodity in the near future. There are people buying stuff like crazy. I know I want one of those sweatshirts or a t-shirt or something. You guys, look at how young I look there. I mean, I am well into my 50s. How is that possible? Look at how young I look. Usually, I don't pay much attention to it, but I'm like, you look good with your Nike camera, the same one that was featured on Oprah's Favorite Things. I look good. I mean, I just have to say it. For somebody in their 50s, look at that baby smooth skin. I don't know what I do. I just, if you saw what kind of soap I use on my face, you'd slap me. But anyway, um, I don't think I look that good now. I'm all right, but I don't think I'll ever look that good again. I mean, making allowances for wear and tear. I'm not to be had for the price of a cocktail, if you know what I mean. Making allowances for wear and tear. Not to be had for the price of a cocktail. I'm just kidding. I'm pretty easy, actually. You won't get any fuss out of me. Oh, there we go. Sunglasses by, is that Crew? J. Crew slippers and the Northwestern shirt, if you want to know what she was wearing. And I have a sound bite for you. You guys are gonna love this. You're gonna love me. Oh, oh, oh. You're gonna love me. Yes, you are. Woo woo, love me. Yes, I have a sound bite for you guys, and you are going to love me. And I am telling you, you're gonna love me. Ready for it? Wait. Oh no, where is it? Don't tell me I did it again. Oh, don't tell me I did it again. I was on a roll. Ooh. Uh, what did I do with it? Okay, I lost it. I lost it. I don't think I saved it properly. That's what happened. But it shouldn't take but a second to go back and look for it. Okay, let me get digging. I could find it, no worries. Anyway, that is her professor. Mm, okay. Oh, I know where it is. Oh, I know. one of the more reliable people on social media that always seem to have just the right thing for the day. I'm going to build a shrine to this person, I promise. Nope, it wasn't that person. Okay, never mind, because I don't see it. I don't remember where I got it from. Ah, I found it. I found it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, here it comes. Here it comes. That wasn't bad, was it?
One of the things that I noticed.
Oh, sorry.
One of the things that I noticed in some of the coverage of the engagement is this narrative of a woman who was sort of plucked from the masses to become royalty. And what that storyline misses is the fact that Meghan Markle is a very accomplished woman. And with that prominence, with her success, she developed and cultivated a platform that allows her to be a very impressive and quite eloquent and highly intelligent spokesperson for women's rights and social inclusion. If you look at Meghan's career, she has really made use of the platforms that she has had, right? So she has been outspoken as an advocate for women's rights. She has been committed to inclusion and diversity. And it's that social advocacy that I hope will continue and seems to be prepared. It seems like it will continue with this new position. And I think that if you're a person who likes intelligence, and self-confidence and a passion for the arts and a commitment to doing social good and being a social advocate for the betterment of others, then I could see how that pairing could be quite successful.
All right. Okay, so there you go. That is what her professor said. The Duchess of Sussex values were built on a solid foundation from attending Hollywood Little Red Schoolhouse and then Immaculate Heart High School and Northwestern. As a proud graduate of Northwestern University, she continues to show up, do good. That is what one of the squaddies shared with us today. Show up and do good. That's what she continues to do. So, and he was right. It was a fantastic pairing. I'm pretty sure that he was probably concerned about the very rigid stuff that would be expected from that clan that she married into. No pun intended. Yeah, it was a pun. But, well, anyway, she survived that. And both Harry and Meghan are going on to do some extraordinary things. They have already done great things, and they will continue to do extraordinary, great things. So, very proud of our Duchess. All right. Now, this is Windsor. What was it? May the 19th, 2018. I'm standing in the crowd waiting for Harry and Meghan. I did not realize that when I put my phone up, everybody else was raising their phones up. And unless you were in the front row, all of those hands flailing about, all of those phones waving about, throws your phone out of focus. As you can see, I have that very grainy, blurry image of Harry and Meghan in the white circle. I was so frustrated. Now, here, I got a clear view of them. Well, obviously, as I aim my phone toward them after they've already passed my position, I got a lovely view of the back of their heads. And anyway, no regrets. I was very glad to be there. And I also had my Nikon camera, right? I didn't want to get it knocked about, so I held it over my head. Well, I got some beautiful images of those trees across the street. Lovely green foliage that looked so bad, I decided not to share it with you. But yeah, so that was my two photos of Harry and Meghan from their wedding day. Chicago. Oh, by the way, thank you, Miriel, for digging this up for us. Chicago is close to Prince Harry's heart. His girlfriend is a Northwestern alumna. Yeah. Now, this article is from October of 2017. Matter of fact, it was Halloween. Yeah, October 31st. Great Britain's Prince Harry is paying a visit to Chicago on Tuesday to speak at the Obama Summit, but the city holds a special place near and dear to the royals' heart for a different reason. Harry's girlfriend and rumored fiancée, Meghan Markle, is a 2003 graduate of Northwestern University. In case of in a in a case of coincidence or fate, Harry's mom, the late Princess Diana, famously swept Chicago off its feet during a whirlwind visit in June of 1996. Her first stop on that tour, Northwestern University. And of course, yesterday we spoke about the People's Princess visiting Chicago, if you recall, the connection that I was trying to put together. And of course, the famous purple Versace gown. And it all started because Meghan wore that sweatshirt. And there you can see Northwestern alumni paint Windsor purple to cheer royal couple. And yeah, amazing. What an amazing, amazing day that was in the history of Chicago. And I tell you guys, make no mistake, make no mistake. That is probably the best tour that the People's Princess had taken since the separation and eventual divorce from that weirdo husband of hers. This was a defining moment. She danced with Phil Donahue. It was like a holiday in Chicago. It really was. I mean, people didn't have the day off from work, wasn't a bank holiday or anything like that, but it was Princess Diana fever. People were just so excited. The idea that we were breathing the same air as the People's Princess. It was amazing. Love this photo right here, but I've said that yesterday. Walking up those marble steps of the Field Museum in Chicago for I believe it was a charity fundraiser. Amazing. And as with any royal visit, there it is, in commemoration of the visit of Her Royal Highness Princess Diana, the Princess of Wales, to Northwestern University, 1996. Know exactly where that is, by the way. It's a big boulder, a huge rock where they placed that bronze marker to mark the occasion. So there you have it. And 10 years to the day of her visit, the Drake Hotel where she stayed, very famous old Chicago hotel overlooking the lakeshore, they celebrated the 10-year anniversary of her visit. The Rolls Royce that she used during her visit is in the Automobile History Museum. It was loaned for the um, time that she was in Chicago. So whether or not she was a HRH officially or whatever did not matter. To the people of Chicago, she was everything. And right there from 2017, the Meghan Markle tour of Northwestern University retraced the future Duchess's steps around her alma mater. And then here on the right, that was that 2014 visit where Meghan went to the campus of Northwestern University. About 600 fans of the USA Network series Suits filled the Ryan Auditorium on Tuesday for a screening and panel discussion featuring two stars from the cast, including Northwestern alumna Meghan Markle. So, yeah, she went back there in 2014. That was the first time she had been back there since she graduated, and she received a hero's welcome. Here, here. Those haters are just jealous. Those people are jealous because of that connection, that very spiritual and strictly coincidental connection that the two princesses seem to have with the Northwestern University. Meghan, a graduate of Northwestern, and of course, the People's Princess. That was the last royal visit from the Windsors, I believe. Yeah, that was Princess Diana. I don't think any other royals from that family have been here since. I don't think so. The Queen Elizabeth came here in the 1950s, and then Princess Diana in 1996. Yeah, that's the only one I can think of. I don't know that any of the others have ever been here. So right there, that was the Chicago Tribune. Just think of the Chicago Tribune like the New York Times. Not as famous as the New York Times, but definitely a prestigious big city newspaper. Northwestern graduate marrying British guy. Yeah, that was a little fun headline that they had. And then right here, Northwestern graduate moving closer to home after spending time abroad. That's a fun little tease, right? They didn't just come out and say it, but we all know what they mean. And women's press box purple Northwestern Wildcats comfy cord vintage wash basic arch pullover sweatshirt. Anyway, you can see there only one left, $64.99. I don't know what website that is though. And check it out. Do you mean to tell me Doria, the rock of the Sussex family, Doria, has been to Chicago, has visited Northwestern University? Just to clear things up, the actual campus, the main campus, is in Evanston, which is right at the border of Chicago on the north side of the city. And then there is the downtown campus. As far as I know, Princess Diana only visited the downtown Chicago campus where they have, I believe, the law school and they also have the University Medical Center. So that is, I believe that Diana never went to Evanston. She stayed in the downtown area along the lakeshore where they have a huge campus there. So they have those two campuses. Both are on the lakeshore. Both are beautiful. Now, Sir Trevor McDonald defends Harry and Meghan. She was never given a chance. 5 years after the Spare and his wife left the United Kingdom Our columnist says it's our loss and he wants them to return. Well, Trevor, we know that ain't going to happen. We know that there's not going to be a return. But, well, at least you got part of that right. You got part of it right. As I dump water all down the front of my shirt. Oh, how did I do that? Hold on a second. I need a sip of water. Okay. And I mean icy cold water. I just dumped down the front of my shirt. Yeah, Trevor, not gonna happen. But he is right to say they never gave our Duchess a chance. So he goes on to say, hard to believe it's been 5 years since Prince Harry and his wife, Meghan, left Britain to live in North America. First in Canada and then Meghan's home state of California. I had realized so much time. Oh, I'm sorry. I hadn't realized so much time had passed, mainly because I always felt the move was temporary and that they would return to live in Britain once again. To my mind, it is a great shame Prince Harry is no longer part of the working monarchy. And not only because his presence would have given them strength in numbers, the past year has exposed just how slimmed down the monarchy has become. With both the King and the Princess of Wales taking time out for cancer treatment or whatever they were doing, I have always felt Harry brought something special to the role. Having met him 3 times or 4 times over the years, I found him unfailingly friendly, honest, and genuine. Yes, he is. But I don't know, Trevor. They that institution, first and foremost, I blame Willie. I do. I blame Willie for the for that. And of course, his courtiers, one of which has been in the news a lot lately. But look at them. They're free. They're happy. They're enjoying their lives. Why would they want to bother with these two? These two people would never, ever allow them to outshine and overshadow them. They have gone through so much to get attention, right? Look at the lengths that they've gone through for attention. Kate dressed up like a windsock when she went to Boston that time. I mean, nothing screams, please give me attention like dressing up like a windsock. Also, William, who decided to pretend as though he was a bottle of Mitchum roll-on deodorant, that's a scream for attention or a scream for help. Yeah. I mean, both of them, they do whatever it takes to get attention, that's what they'll do. And so whether it's pretending to be a bottle of Mitchum roll-on deodorant or the windsock down at the automobile repair garage, they will go to any length to get attention. Also, I suspect that weasel-eyed mama of hers had something to do with it, but they were driven out of the United Kingdom. We all know that. So I could appreciate that Trevor feels as though there is a bit of a loss there, but what can you do? Trevor said, watching him address a meeting of Commonwealth students, for example, I was impressed by his insistence that his was not a short-term presence. He wouldn't make one speech and disappear. He would be there as long as they need him. I was struck by the similarity to his mother, the late Princess Diana. It seemed to me he spoke from the heart, just as she did. In fact, there is much in his demeanor and approach to life that reminds people of his mother. To some extent, he has followed along the path that she laid out. The socially progressive causes, the passion for the charities she championed, and her unrivaled ability to connect with people. Meghan, too, could have brought a new dimension to the monarchy, but having a different background, perhaps she could have changed how the royal family is perceived by those who had never before felt a strong connection. Yet it seems to me that that's precisely because of those differences she never stood a chance of being accepted. To be blunt, she is a foreigner, an American, a divorcee, a former actress, and Black. She was never given a chance to prove herself. Less than kind way of newspapers reporting the news of her new Netflix With Love Meghan reminded me why the couple had to run from their British home in the first place. Prince Harry's own view is uncompromising. In his book Spare, he outlines bluntly that once the fairy tale wedding had ended, they were subjected to waves of abuse, racism, and lies, and had no chance but to flee the country. His own difficulties with the media go back further. Once the happy go lucky spare, he was overcome by grief over his mother's death in Paris road tunnel, for which he blamed the British press. And rightly so, I might add. He was very young when Princess Diana died, only 12, walking. Well, anyway, we know all that stuff. Uh, Everyone knew he was grief stricken for his mother. Oh, yeah, this is good. One of the final meetings between Harry and his father, the king, and his older brother, William, took place in Windsor. We have only Harry's account of how it went. He says they were not on time, could hardly meet his eyes, and never inquired in any serious way why was why was he thinking of going to America? From where we are today, it looks mostly impossible that someone could persuade Harry and his family to come back to Britain. But I sincerely hope it can be done one day. We cannot afford to lose someone so young, so full of energy, and so imbued with the charitable instinct that are at the core of our royal family. No, it's not at the core of the family. It's at Harry's core. It's at Meghan's core, but no, it is not the core of that family. That family, no, that one I don't agree with. It's not at the core of that family. They go through the motions, but they don't have any like real serious approach to fundraising and supporting charities. They just go through the motions. God, I'll never forget when Camilla was pretending to cry, of all things, being a patron of a women's abuse shelter, someone who helped abuse a 19-year-old girl that married into the royal family. And what does she do? As a smack in the face, as a way to have a little joke with Charles, she becomes the patron of a women's abuse shelter. Make that make sense. That was deliberate, by the way. That was deliberate. Anyway, that's Sir Trevor from ITN's News at 10, blah, blah, blah. Nice article, but the part, I just don't buy that part about charity being at the core of that family. All they do is take. They rarely give anything back to people, rarely. And when they do, you never hear the end of it, ever. As a matter of fact, it puts me in mind of...
I just don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us four sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about what you mean as royals or as, like, Kim Kardashian? Because for me, they're becoming celebrities.
Well, yeah, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen
is their celebrity.
For me, is brilliant.
I love the Queen.
No, duty, responsibility.
She's always worked really hard, hasn't
I would
she?
work hard if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
They don't pay for all of the houses, but
just a few.
No, they paying for all of them. Stop playing, girl. They paying for all of them. Every single one of them. Well, let the buyer beware. Oklahoma, where the wind come rushing up the plains. Well, only 32% of the people in Oklahoma voted for Kamala Harris. 66% voted for that monster. What is that? Massive job loss as 600 federal employees at Tinker Air Force Base will be fired tomorrow. Well, we'll see what happens. Allegedly fired tomorrow. Tinker is the largest single site employer in Oklahoma. Oklahoma, y'all definitely got what y'all voted for. You got what you voted for. You wanted someone who is going to, or should I say, you wanted to vote against your interests, and that's exactly what you got. And now you're about to have massive job cuts. Tinker is one of the largest, if not the largest employer in all of Oklahoma. Oklahoma has a very small population, but having a job like that in Oklahoma, I'm sure it pays better than most jobs that you can get. Well, anyway, they say that about 600 people have become redundant. We'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But that's what they say. There has been rumors abound. Yes, they found out, didn't they? They found out. Let's see. As if things weren't already bad. What is that? Oklahoma ranks 46 out of 50 states. They are 46th in overall child well-being, 39th in economic well-being, 49th in education, 45th in healthcare, and 40th in family and community. That's how they rank. So the last thing they need is to lose 600 jobs. Now, that don't seem like a lot, but like I said, Oklahoma doesn't have a very large population. Oh, well, they found out. Kate cancer diagnosis left William at his lowest point. So they say, who cares? They just want people to feel sorry for him. William's lowest point. Let me see. What would be William's lowest point? Oh, I know. The day that he realized that Harry and Meghan were not coming back. When he realized that all of these attempts to destroy his brother and his wife, his sister-in-law, when he realized that all of these attempts to destroy them had failed, I'm pretty sure that was the lowest point of his life. When he realized that the person that was supposed to carry all the heavy weight of his future sovereignty, is that what you call it? Future monarchy. That person is long gone. He chose happiness, right? He chose happiness. That was his low point. The cancer thing, he'll be all right. But when he found out that his brother wasn't there and wasn't ever going to come back, that was a low point for William. William, at his lowest, after Kate's diagnosis, says ex-aid. Well, where did that come from? Jason. Just like a horror movie, he's back. Yep, Jason Nuff, a former aide to the Prince of Wales, has said the royal was at his lowest after Princess of Wales was diagnosed with cancer. In an interview with 60 Minutes Australia, now you guys, listen, I don't want to put down Australia, but 60 Minutes in the United States is one of the longest running, actually, it's the longest running news magazine show on American television, if not all of television. It is one of those prestigious shows that can really change a person's life. They always say, you know, you're going to have a bad day if 60 Minutes is waiting for you in your driveway, right? You know you're going to have a bad day. 60 Minutes reporting is a standard. I'm talking about the US 60 Minutes is a standard that most television shows, even newspapers, whatever, you're just not going to reach that standard. They are world famous for their reporting. So apparently they licensed the name 60 Minutes to some Australian network. I think is ABC Australia, the Australian broadcast, well, whatever it is. In an interview with 60 Minutes Australia, Jason Nuff, formerly the chief executive of William and Kate's Royal Foundation, said, "It was awful, absolutely awful. It was the lowest I've ever seen him." Within a couple of weeks, if you're Prince Williams, you find out that both your wife and your father have cancer. I couldn't believe it. Both the King and the Princess of Wales were treated for cancer last year. Kate is now in remission of whatever. Let me stop. And Charles is having ongoing treatment. I repeat, William's lowest point was when he realized that he wasted all of that effort to try to destroy his brother, to try to destroy their family, and still they are head and shoulders above anything that William will ever do in his life. Everything he does, everything he will ever do, he is the one playing second fiddle to his brother. It's not the other way around. He's malicious and vindictive and cruel and mean-spirited. And he and his wife are two of the laziest, dumbest people that have ever drawn a breath. Anytime you dress up in colonial costume in 2022, and go to the Caribbean, trying to relive not the best moments of your life, but the best moments of your grandmother and your grandfather's life. Problem is, they did that back in the 50s. And you're coming back in 2020 something, dressed up like the great white father of the North, and it just did not work out. They don't think. They have nothing to contribute to society. Everything that they do, they just copy off of other people. They duplicate, replicate, rinse, repeat over and over again, always expecting a different outcome. Or as they say, what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. That's why it was a low point. Whenever it was, I don't know. But when he realized his brother wasn't coming back and that his brother was free, that's when he was at his lowest point. Dummy. Anyway, Meghan Markle's private messages handed over with William's approval. Now, who said that? Dickie Arbiter, who was the press secretary for Queen Elizabeth. William and Kate's Kensington Palace staff accused of briefing the press against Meghan and Harry. All of those bearded people that surround William, that includes his wife, all of those beards are the ones who uplift and support his insanity. Those are the ones that do it. Jason is in the bottom left. That's Jason. Simon Case, and of course, Christian Jones. Christian Jones was supposed to have been hired for the Sussexes. And in the very same article, they also pointed out that he was also going to work with Will and Kate. Well, amongst the couples, we know who was the highest ranking, William. So they never really worked for Harry and Meghan. They were assigned to spy on them, to keep an eye on them, to make sure that they would not outshine those two dumb, lazy people. And there's Jason right there, lurking in the background. It is triggering. Looking at that image triggers me. I am going to allege in the strongest terms that he wasn't working for them. He was working against them. He was there to ensure their failure, in my opinion. Kate even cheered him. She lifted up a candle as a symbolic cheer for all the dirty work that he's done. He's from Texas, an American from Texas, who found himself going to the University of, Wellington in Australia, where he and Dan Wooten were at the university at the same time, although they say that, we don't know whether or not they know each other. But what we do know is they were there at the same time. And as Dan Wooten said, it's much easier for them to blame anything uncomfortable on racism rather than address the fact that the negativity toward them is coming from within the royal family. He said it right there. And he spoke truth. That was true. That it was coming from the family and their courtiers. In other words, the calls are coming from Kensington Palace. The calls are coming from inside the house. The only way that anything was leaked about Harry and Meghan The person who supposedly was working for them, but not working for them, is the one who leaked the information. And the only way that would happen is if he was given permission to do so from Will and Kitty. And he was given that permission. Now, I haven't watched the 60 Minutes. I don't have the courage to do it. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to watch it. If it's from 60 Minutes Australia, as far as I'm concerned, it is trash. Trash, trash, trash. Especially if it has anything to do with Harry and Meghan. They routinely cover the Markle side of the family, inviting them to speak out against Meghan, never pointing out the fact that Thomas Markle has no relationship with his grandchildren. And I do mean his other grandchildren, not the prince and princess, Archie and Lily. He doesn't have contact with any of them. And Samantha Markle, it has been reported that she has no contact with her own children. And even her mother, who is not Meghan's mother, her mother said that she is not to be trusted. Do not believe anything that she says. And those are the people that they cover. And there is no objectivity whatsoever. There's no pretense of objectivity. It's only one side of the story. Poor Thomas Markle, poor Thomas Markle, poor Samantha. Trashy television. Glow tweeted one day some time ago, Prince William and his palace aide, Jason Knopf. Let's see here. This is the lackey whom he sent to try and destroy his sister-in-law, Duchess Meghan Markle, by helping the Daily Mail with evidence which in any case failed to help them win against Meghan. Demons and snakes. Yeah, demons and snakes. Looks about right to me. And then if that's not enough of a slap in the face, the symbolic toast wasn't enough. He receives the Royal Victorian Order. That isn't a medal that is given to people that have done their exemplary work in service of the royal family. When I say that William is an evil individual, the fact that he can laugh and smile with the hired help that he hand selected to destroy his brother. He has sided time and time again with the help over his brother and his sister-in-law. Let that sink in. He has sided with the help. Time and time again. Sided with the help. And then, of course, there is Christian Jones. Bottom, good-looking guy right there. You see him there with the dark hair? Beard, of course. That's Christian Jones. This is the one that Harry accused of leaking information about their departure from the family. Christian supposedly doesn't know Dan Wooten, who is the one who leaked the story or threatened to leak the story if Harry and Meghan did not come out and say it first. Now, they don't know each other, But very conveniently, Christian Jones and his partner were at the same birthday party, a birthday party for who? Dan Wooten, his 40th birthday party. They all seemed like one big happy bearded family as far as I could tell. That's the future king. Absolutely no grace whatsoever. He is just like his father, an awful, rotten, evil individual. And they both are. They are rotten to the core. I don't know how else to put it. Rotten to the core. They will use whatever device they have at the ready to try and destroy their own family. Charles, his son, and his ex-wife. William, his mother's memory, and his brother, and his brother's wife. Unborn child, eldest child, and daughter. That is the real William. So if he had a low point, it would never be low enough to satisfy me, ever. I don't buy it. I think it's a bunch of hooey. His low point was when he realized he could no longer lord over his brother. So this is like my vision board. My vision board is Jason dressed up like a little girl going to sit on Santa's lap. And Santa turns out to be Thomas Markle, who just grabs her and shakes her vigorously like a little rag doll. That's my vision board. Meghan has her vision board. This is my vision board. My vision board is Jason dressed up as a little girl goes to plop down on Santa's lap, and Santa takes those nasty, puffy, speckled, nasty hands of his and grabs that little thing around her whatever and starts wringing the life out. That's my vision board. This is the image that starts my day and helps me sleep at night. Yes, yes. I'm not calling child services either. I am not. I am going to look the other way. While AKA Thomas Markle, AKA Santa Claus, rings little Jacina's neck. That's what I'm gonna do, is look the other way. And it's a good thing Santa's wearing those gloves, so hopefully there won't be any DNA evidence. That's what I'm enjoying. So and I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "I tried to wring her effing neck, and to all a good night." Now, I don't know how long I had this, but I found it and I just thought I would share it with you. Isn't that cool? I don't know who's the artist. I see, what is that? Amy Dante? I don't know who that is, but it looks like it says Amy Dante. But that is very cool. It would be so cool if there was a cartoon version of the Duchess of Sussex. I would love that. A cartoon version of our Duchess. That would be super, super cool. The garden party. Oh gosh, that black outfit. I think that was, oh, what was that? I don't remember. Okay, the christening, Westminster Abbey, Christmas, 100th anniversary RAF. What is that? The horse thing, the horse race, whatever. And of course, Meghan's first Troop in the Colors. Alistair Brown. Now, that is a name I never heard before, but Alistair Brown. Here's a way to celebrate Black History Month. Alistair Brown served in World War II. And check it out. Emmanuel Macron honored to pay tribute to Alistair Brown and all the veterans who fought for France's freedom and peace 80 years ago. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Elaine Parker, 41 months membership. Hey, Elaine Parker. And hey, Elaine Parker's bladder, who just woke her up to have a quick trip to the loo. Thank you so much. I thank you, and I thank your bladder, also known as Old Faithful. 41 months membership. That is remarkable. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, so thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member of Royal Sussex. Okay. But yeah, so that's Macron honoring an African American soldier veteran who fought over in France during World War II. Let me see. Do I have a soundbite for that? Let me see if I have a soundbite. I thought perhaps I did. I'm not sure. Let me see. Perhaps, yes, no, maybe.
I want to introduce R. Lester Brown. First time back to Normandy, am I right?
That's correct.
First time back to Normandy.
I think the entire program is an awesome program. D-Day across the ocean into France. Oh, man, this is great. This is awesome. I tell you, I've never been a part of a parade like that before. I never thought I would reach this stage in life where all of these people would be coming out to celebrate the services I've rendered. And I'm blessed to still be alive, to come back. I'm 99 years old. This experience has been an awesome experience for me to return after coming here as a boy, 18 years old. It's one of the greatest experiences that I will perhaps have in my lifetime. God has granted the two of you one of the greatest gifts and talents that can be given. And because of that, God has given you the health and the strength to pass on to us, the veterans. Now has allowed me at this point to be able to stand. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. All that you have done is just part of what you will do. God bless you all. God bless you all.
Okay. Very moving, but that background dramatic stuff they had was driving me crazy. I don't know if you could hear it okay, but if I can try to find a way to share it with you, I will. But 99 years old. 99 years old. And every bit the motivational speaker, as you can tell. I know it was difficult to hear it, but yeah. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Every day, we're losing more and more veterans of the Second World War. They have a special program where they have been flying a lot of those veterans to Washington, D.C., because for a long time, there was no memorial for World War II on the National Mall. Now there is. And I forget what the number is, but, there's like so many of them that that has died off every week. And so they have some type of organization or charity or something that has been flying them to Washington, D.C., so that they can see their names and celebrate their contribution to the United States Armed Services. And he's one of those veterans. So very cool. Let's see. Invictus Games 2025. Victorious Nigerian team arrives with medals. Yes, that is the headquarters of defense in Nigeria. Some great photos of their arrival. Very cool, very cool. And reflection of the Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025 and Prince Harry's visit to, that's that one I couldn't say last time. Yes, to that nation. But they just shared this article today, and it's amazing that after all this time that has gone by, the excitement seems to be slowly fading, and that people are still talking about all of the experiences they had during the Invictus Games and the time that they spent with the Sussexes. And then, of course, after Meghan left, Prince Harry was still there. And anyway, it seemed like it was, how did I say it before, that the Sussexes seem to have done more for the First Nations people. They seem to have a greater level of respect, mutual respect, between the, two royals and the First Nation Indigenous people of Canada. A lot of times they felt slighted by the royal family, but Meghan and Harry just seemed to get everything right during that visit. So God bless them. Okay. It says Australians won't ditch monarchy. Wishful thinking. Stick around. There's no appetite for it right now, but in the future, in all likelihood, it's going to be a fun farewell. They're going to throw another shrimp on the Barbie, and that will be the end of the monarchy in Oz. Also, let's not forget the Welsh. They want that title of Prince of Wales removed. It is a slight, an insult to the sovereign nation of Wales, part of the United Kingdom, of course, but Wales does not consider themselves, they're very independent. The Welsh language has come back strong, and they want out of it. Now, unfortunately, there are too many people that seem to side with the crown, but who knows? One of these days, there's going to be a very independent Scotland, a very independent Wales, and there may be a couple of other, places where they're going to say, you know what, we've had enough of this. But there's a lot of that in Europe, believe it or not. There are people who want Flemish Belgium to separate from the other part of Belgium. Lots of those movements for separation. And don't even get me started with Barcelona. I forgot what that province is called. Is it Andalus or whatever? They don't really see themselves as part of Spain. They want out of it. So you'll be amazed at how many places where they're just like, we're not really Spanish. We're not really British. We're something else. Duchy of Lancaster. Yeah, there it is. Those two are part of that $500 million that the British taxpayers are paying it's just so difficult to justify that. They have their own income. They can pay for their own security. They don't need to take any more money out of the land. Those are fiefdoms. Those properties were taken as a result of war, of an uprising or whatever. It should not be theirs to keep. Graham Smith of Republic says, whatever they say, don't believe it. It is not their own private property. It belongs to the people of the United Kingdom. Lex says, I am with the Welsh. You can't kill their king and his son and then give your son the title Prince of Wales. Is subjugation tactic evil? The rest of that. Thank you very much. And that's and when Charles went to Wales to get support from the Welsh Parliament, once he had his ascension to the throne, the day that he visited the Welsh Parliament was actually a holiday, a remembrance day for the last sovereign ruler of Wales. You would pick a day that commemorates the Welsh ruler, the last surviving one before they were, done away with. That is a huge slap in the face. Huge slap in the face. Thank you for the super chat. 4.5 million children live in poverty, but we give this billionaire 23 million pounds pocket money a year, and he takes it. That's even worse. He actually takes it. And takes it. Exactly what was William thinking when he glanced at that young man of African descent? What do you think was on his mind? What exactly is SRWABM? What is that? Anybody? SR, come on, let's sound it out. WABM. You're close. You're close, Legs. You're close. Come on. You're almost there. Nah. Sleeping rough with a black man. Remember that? William cannot be racist. He once slept rough with a black man. Yes. Slept rough with a black man. That is a true story. That was actually an article which I love so much. Yes, time for them to go. Kate and William very popular with public as republicanism declines. In your flippin' dreams. Now, Sunday on Meghan Markle, a real-life Cinderella, also known as the Lady Sussex, there seemed to be some confusion about which pendant Meghan was wearing. The GL stands for George, and what is her name? Lily? Well, anyway, Kelly McGee Zaffin's daughter and her son who passed away, unfortunately. His name was George. So it is true that the pendant that was displayed, Lily, thank you very much, Lydia, her daughter Lily. It is true that the pendant that was displayed here has the initials GL, but it was posted by, I believe it was posted by Kelly Zaffin or whatever jewelry company it is. And so you can't really see Meghan's pendant to see what's on it, but I do believe that hers has AL. I saw that someplace else, but I can't remember if there was a clear image of it or what. So I believe the Lady Sussex said that it was Archie and Lily, AL, and George or Charles on their podcast believed that it was GL. Well, they're both right. I think they're both right. It's just that when they shared the Instagram, they used a very clear image of GL. Now, I believe that the pendant was designed by Kelly McGee Zaffin. I believe that was her idea or her design. So that's why you see the GL. So I hope that clears it up. I think that that's correct. But I don't believe that Meghan was actually the one wearing the GL pendant because, she has Archie and Lily, even though she is great friends with Kelly and I'm sure adores or adored her children. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. But that's where the GL comes from. And lastly, if you're going to wear a suit, wear a suit. Wear a suit. Is she wearing that suit or what? That cut, that finely tailored suit. Mama looks good. She looks amazing. Okay? She looks incredible. If you're going to wear a suit, wear a suit. Connie Palmer. Hey, Connie Palmer. Yes, I repeat. If you're going to wear a suit, wear a suit. She looks good. So, know your history. Once again, happy Black History Month. There's so much history out there. Go and find it. Go and find it. American history is Black history, and Black history is American history. So let it be written, so let it be done. Anyway, that's it for tonight. What did I say? I don't think we'll be here more than 2 hours. And it's not more than 2 hours. It's 1 hour, 54 minutes, and some change. So we good? We're good. Hey, Cookies and Cream. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for being a moderator. Which reminds me, I got to go and check out some of those, permanently delete some of those trolls. I got to do that. Okay, that's a wrap. Love you guys. I will see you next time.